Hey guys, welcome. I have a really great guest today, Jack Jr. He is a comedian. He's sold out shows all around the world. He's actually going to be going to Armenia in the month of July. We've talked about a lot of things, everything from his upbringing to his starting, the love he has for his kids, what motivates him, and many more. Stay tuned, guys. Thank you. Jack, thank you so much for coming on.
No problem, man.
Honestly, a really big pleasure.
Yeah.
First of all, congrats for all your success.
Thanks.
I was at the Alex Theater show.
Yeah.
Like, that was a really, really good show. I liked it. And the energy there was like electric.
Thanks, man.
It was a great crowd. How did it feel having that? You set it up, you bet on yourself, you paid for it, you got the arena, you got it sold out. How did it feel like betting on yourself and winning?
That's a good question. A lot of people don't know this, but it was an idea of mine to do the Alex Theater because it's my hometown.
Right.
It's a huge theater in Glendale, California, and I did it with the Armenian Kings of Comedy. We did it, and then I was like, dude, next year I'm going to headline this thing. And it was just a Facebook post. I just posted it on Facebook, and then it got so much love that I called my manager at the time, and I was like, hey, book the Alex Theater. And he told me, he's like, oh, the promoter doesn't want you. And I said, what? I said, the promoter doesn't want me? I said, who's the promoter? And I said, well, first of all, I don't need a promoter. I want to bet on myself.
Right.
I said, book it. Call who needs to be called, or I'll call. Like I'm basically, I doubt the Alex Theater will be like, hey, we don't want you. Like, I'm going to pay for the theater, you know? So sold it out, hometown. It was probably the most, like, it felt great once it was sold out, but when I was backstage before I go on stage, it was probably one of my most nervous moments ever in comedy because my phone kept getting blown up by everybody. Hey, where do I park? Where's this? Where's that? You know how our people are.
Yeah.
Like, is the show gonna start? Hurry up and come out already. Why aren't you out? Like, it was just, I finally turned my phone off, and I wasn't gonna drink alcohol because I didn't want to sweat on stage, so I had no alcohol in me. I was just sober, just drinking Perrier water. All my friends and family were backstage. Super Sacco, close friends, R Zeta, my friend Armin Sujan was video to my camera guys. We're all backstage just hanging out an hour before showtime. And then as we got closer, the nerves started hitting in, and I was like, uh-oh. So then I was like, we went upstage. Ara's like, I'm like, they're about to call me up. Ara's like, should I bring the tequila? I go, don't bring the tequila.
Right.
He's like, I'm gonna bring it. I'm like, okay, bring it. So right before they called me up and they gave me the intro, I go, Ara. Like, I feel like a doctor. Aura, shot, stat. He hands me a shot, bah, and I go on stage, and then it was just like, I honestly blanked out for a second. Like, when I saw everyone standing ovation as soon as I came out, it was crazy. When everyone stood up, I was like, oh, wow. And I didn't know what to say. And I just said, oh, my God, I think I'm going to cry. Because that's exactly how I felt. Like, I wanted to cry because I've been doing this for 16 years. And finally, I got somewhere. Something like I've been wanting to do is shoot my own special. And a lot of comedians, they do this. They wait around for like the Netflixes and the Hulus and Prime Videos or Comedy Central back in the day for people to pick up your special. So we wait, we hold on. But then I'm like 16 years in, I'm like, I'm not the same comedian I was 10 years ago. You know, I've grown. So like, I'm like, I need to put something out. So I bet on myself. I got a couple sponsors. A shout out to my sponsors, Margarita Long, who's the main sponsor, Nick Home Loans, Urgent One Restoration, and Aaron Baroni. We just did it, and it was one of the best feelings in the world. And honestly, like I've done a lot of shows. I've opened up for Gabriel Iglesias in arenas for 20,000 people, 15,000 people, 10,000 people. Those were amazing feelings too. But going out there in my hometown and everyone, like, it felt great, man. It felt really so much. And it was my birthday, and I turned 40. So it was just a bunch of things, man.
Celebrated right across Giggles.
Yeah.
Right across the comedy club.
That's the party, man.
Man, you killed it that night.
Thank you, man.
And, you know, one thing I am wondering is, because I understand you started doing comedy when you were in a really dark place.
Yeah.
You went to your dad, I want therapy.
Yeah.
No therapy, go on stage.
Yeah.
That's more affordable. Do you think you've always had the tenacity to go on stage and perform, or is it something you had to build up to?
Oh no,
you think you always had that in you?
I've always had it. Since I was a kid, my dad would say I would always make people laugh. You know, I was always trying to be attention and make people laugh and this and that. Especially when I got into high school, I was in the assemblies or like hosting like the talent show. I was always like that guy. You know, I was always making people laugh. I was always getting in trouble at school for jokes, and I never knew I wanted to be a comedian. No one wants that. I mean, unless you're like, you know, like some people watch comedy and they go, oh, I want to be a comedian. It wasn't like that for me. It just happened. I had the funny bone in me, And then when life hit me, I used comedy as like a therapy, and then that's why I became successful. And I still use it today as therapy. If something's bothering me, whether it happens at home or work or friends, I go on stage and I talk about it. You know, that's how I cope with things.
Yeah. Do you think you would have, let's say, at 24 years old, like you were saying, your wife, you know, she took your son.
Yeah.
They moved up to Modesto.
Yeah.
Do you think if that incident didn't happen, do you think you would be where you are now, or would you have stuck with your sales career? I know you had 2 shops at the Glendale Galleria.
Yeah.
You had your sales career, selling cell phones, these things. Do you think you would have stayed in that? Do you think if that really devastating thing didn't happen, do you think you would have moved into comedy or not?
No, I probably wouldn't have. I was doing well. I was at 24 years old. I had 3 kiosks in the mall. I had 2 in Glendale and 1 in Northridge. I was killing it. I was selling screen protector phones. I was one of the first people to do it. It was called Gadget Guard. I put it on my phone. You guys know it as Invisible Shield now. Everyone has Zag. Everyone has the big company came out. But before it was Gadget Guard, and I was one of the I had exclusivity in Glendale Galleria that no one else was allowed to sell. That was in my contract. So Glendale Galleria wanted me out because the Invisible Shield was a nationwide global brand. You know, it was coming in. But I had 2-3 kiosks, and I was making really good money from it, dude. And I imagine at 24 years old, I was balling at 24. You know, like I look at my kids now, and they're like 21. They're nowhere near where I was at that age. You know, and it's like it's just times are different. You know, and I owe it a lot to my dad. My dad gave me tough love. And I think that's what's missing right now. A lot of parents are soft right now. We give their kids everything. We spoil them. But my dad really gave me tough love, and I hated him for it at the time. I hated my dad for that. Like, dude, like you don't love me, blah blah. But honestly, he gave me he made me want. He taught me how to hustle. Yeah. He taught me how to hustle and to learn the value of a dollar. And I still have that drive today. You know, I'm still doing that. I'm still hustling every single day. I don't have a regular job. I'm a comedian. I sell tickets. I do content online, and I travel the world to make people laugh. So tomorrow, I don't know how much money. Today, I'm not making any money. You know what I'm saying? Like tomorrow, I'm gonna make money. It all depends on how much I hustle. So that's why I love what I do, because I control my own paycheck. You know?
Yeah. No, and from what I've learned about you and researched about you, every day when you wake up, it's either you're going to be selling these many amount of tickets or you're going to be making X amount of dollars. That's when you know you're hustling. That's when you know you're getting it done. And you really have that type A type of personality. Do you feel like if you don't hit that mark for the day, do you think you didn't hustle that day? Or what's your internal monologue like? Because a lot of successful people have a pretty harsh internal monologue. Are you more kind to yourself, or are you very harsh with yourself?
I'm very harsh with myself.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I don't hit a goal every day, I add that goal to the next day. That's all I do. I keep adding the goal to the next day. So by the end of the week, we need to do this. Everyone, you know, it's so funny. Every time I add another show, my friend goes, "Why? What happened?" Like my son needs braces.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm also like, when I add shows, it's not only for the money, dude. Honestly, it's for me. It's like therapy. Like I said, I need to write new material. Like a lot of people don't understand is when they come to my shows, I always do different material. I do different material, different stuff, because I'm always working on new stuff. And I've been so grateful that my new stuff sounds like stuff I've been working on forever. I've become so comfortable on stage that I'm in a really good place right now.
I love that. It's all about just hustling, getting it there. One thing that really interested me about you is that, honestly, I don't think you would do this now, but in your earlier days, you would get people's numbers.
Yeah.
And when you were at a certain city, hey, here's my number, you'd give it out to people.
Yeah, I did that.
And then you'd individually text them.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm in your city, I'm coming. You interact with people.
Yeah.
That's how, it is honestly very kind, because there's some comedians feel like I'm too good for anybody, but you have a direct opposite approach, and that's what got you to get a gig to perform in Armenia in July.
Yeah. I literally have the same phone number I've had since I started, so people still message me. People still, I used to give my phone number out. Hey, if you guys like me, my phone number is this, and people would text me, and then I wouldn't save their names, but I would put like 40 numbers would come in, and I write Pasadena, I write San Jose, Arizona, and my phone book it's still saved like that. I have people's numbers, and I still text people till this day when I go to these cities, because these are the people that believed in me from the beginning, and I still invite them to shows. Sometimes I even give them free tickets because they were there when I was nobody, you know. So
I love that. So you really know how to give back.
Yeah.
Do you think that's because from the research I've done, understood is that that's how you landed. July 24th, you're going to be at the Hard Rock.
In Armenia.
In Armenia, yeah. So is that what led you to go to Armenia? People were saying, come to Armenia.
Yeah.
And then you said, this is all I need, a mic, a spotlight.
Yeah.
And that's all I need. Is that what got you to Armenia?
So my agent at the time was trying to book me in Armenia, and unfortunately they weren't able to do it. I don't know what happened, but we're no longer with that agency. And I just said, no one's going to work as hard as I am. So I reached out to the people and I go, how can we do this? And luckily one of my friends that's living in Armenia, her name is Anush. She went to high school with me here, but she lives there now. So she went and walked around and she found the venue. She did all the things, and then that's how great our community is. We like helping each other. So she booked the Hard Rock Yerevan, and we're doing it. Our first show, July 24th in Armenia, which is almost sold out. But we'll be adding another show soon too.
It's a different culture in Armenia.
Yeah.
And people tell you stay away from certain things, don't talk about certain things, but you always like to push the envelope.
Yeah.
And you like to say what other people are thinking, but they're not going to say it. What gives you that type of courage, especially being somewhere else and just staying true to yourself?
I think a lot has to do with me watching Howard Stern as a kid. Howard Stern pushed people's buttons, and he went pretty far. And I watched it as a kid. It was on the E! Channel. And I always wanted just the freedom of speech, say what you want. And if you're ruffling some feathers, you're being more noticed than the other guy. Because everyone does the same thing. You're just another... You know, you want to stand out. You want to be different.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I really like is that you want to show a different side of Armenian culture.
Yeah.
When you think about Armenians here, you don't think about the best things, but you want to change that landscape, and you actually have a documentary that you're going to be filming in Armenia.
Yeah.
What inspired you to do that?
This is what bothered me. In the United States, when you hear the word Armenian, you think of fraud, you think of scam artists, you think Harry, you think genocide, protest. That's all you think about. You never see the positive in it. You never see how hardworking we are. You know, we're family oriented. We're Christian. We come from a lot of struggles. You know, where we have a lot of relationships with other countries that were occupied by Turkey. That Turkey came in like with Greece. Well, there's what else? There's
Azerbaijan.
They both cause, I don't want to talk about genocide, but they're doing a genocide, and it's till this day it's happening. But I'm saying, like, there's a lot of other countries like Greece, Assyrians.
Yeah.
They were all going through what we went through. So, like, I mean, we always hear the sad stuff. I wanted to bring out the beautiful side of Armenia, and that is like our mountains, our lakes, our rivers, the people, the food, the nightlife. You know, it's like Europe, right? It's Asia, but it's you know, it's very European. You know. And I wanted to go over there, and the documentary I'm filming is not only going to be like educational, it's going to be funny, educational, and like Jersey Shore, like a reality show.
Right.
So camera's gonna follow me around the town, and we're gonna go eating, drinking, this, that, blah, blah. But we're gonna see some beautiful things, and we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna do confessionals, and it's gonna be like Jackass, where it's funny. We're gonna do stunts, pranks, and I just think it's going to be something different, and it's going to show how beautiful our country is.
So what I hear from this is just self-starter, motivator, and a strong work ethic, which you've had since a young age. And I know you have 5 kids. You want to instill this in your kids.
Yeah.
But given all the success you have, it's harder to instill it when you're so successful yourself, because it's kind of like life gets easier.
Yeah.
How do you instill a hard work ethic in your kids?
It's hard because my wife, she babies the kids, you know, she babies them a lot, and I'm tough on them. I'm as tough as I can be, but I also do spoil them a lot too. I'll wake up one day like you know, the normal people are, hey, let's plan a trip to Disneyland in a couple of weeks. I go, hey, get up, we're going to Disneyland. Like I do fun stuff like that. We're going to Universal yesterday. I go, hey, get up, we're going to the beach. I like being able to do that because my schedule is so random. Like, I might have to go to New York tomorrow. I might have to do this. So when I have some free time, I want them to experience some fun while I'm like present, you know, like I'm here, no work, no show, nothing. Let's do something fun. I want them to be hustlers. They have that gene. They have that. I teach them. I show them every day. Like, for example, my son wants to work. He wants to work at a job. He's like, I want to do something for like $25, $30 an hour. I said, that sounds great, dude. You want to make $30 an hour? I said, here's $30. Go pick up all that poop on the floor for 8 hours. That's what someone told me one time. I said, I don't want to do that for you know what I'm saying? Like, is that what your price is? I said, why have a price? You know, like, make your own money, make your own, be a business owner, you know, be a hustler, you know. And that's what I learned when I working at T-Mobile. I was working at T-Mobile, and I was working on commission, and I was making $55 in activation. So I would work 10-hour days, to make as much money as possible, because I controlled my own paycheck. That's what I didn't want minimum wage. I didn't want $15, $12 an hour. I wanted to control my own paycheck. Today I made $500. Tomorrow I made $1,000. Like, that's what motivated me was the money and being able to provide for my family, and I still have that work ethic. So I want my kids to have it, but times are different right now. Everything's on social media. TikTok, everyone wants to be an influencer. My kids want to think they can just go, oh, I'm gonna buy this crypto and I'm gonna be a zillionaire. They see what they see on social media, and a lot of it's true, a lot of it's not. So yeah, no, and you really are always hustling. On the True Hustle podcast, you were saying, your wife is upset. Why are you always on your phone? This is how I make my money. Yeah.
What I notice is you're always interacting with people. We're going to do a show here. We're going to do a show there. You actually went to I believe it was San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
And that show, I think it was only 40 tickets that sold, but you still went, even though it didn't sell out, to show people that you're there for them.
Yeah.
If they want you, you're going to be there.
Yeah.
How do you think that's translated into your audience? Do you think that's grown a very loyal base?
Yeah.
Because they know you're real. You're not just there for you.
So San Antonio was funny because I was there like a couple years ago. We sold it out, and then I went back again.
Right.
And I went during a really wrong time. I went during Fiesta, which is like their Coachella. And it's not Coachella just for kids, it's like for everybody. So the whole town shut down, the streets are closed, and everyone's at Fiesta. So like I was like, oh, I picked the worst weekend. I do go to a lot of cities, and I don't sell out everywhere, but I honestly, that's the only way you're gonna grow in this business. I sell out in LA, New York, Chicago, Vegas, a lot of major cities, Boston, Philly, DC, but I want to go to the small towns. I like the small towns. The small towns, when you go to a small town and you destroy, they go, oh my God. Like, imagine a small town is like, you go to like a Bakersfield, you know what I'm saying? Right. Or you go to Modesto. Like, they need comedy too, So like, I just want to grow in all these I want to grow everywhere, So that's the only way we're going to grow is getting in front of their face.
Right. That's the most effective. Yeah, go ahead.
Because a lot of these towns, like, for example, Modesto, my son lives there, Like, I used to do shows at these little pop-up bars, and they would sell out, but people were like, oh, there's nothing to do in the town, so we saw a comedy show, so we bought a ticket, So that's how I grew my audience in Northern California. I used to do shows like in Patterson, Merced, Modesto, Turlock, and I grew. And then now when I do shows in Sacramento, this same audience drives an hour and they go see me in Sacramento, in like a major city.
Wow.
So yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about, since you're going all these places, you're traveling a lot, and you mentioned how that's hard on the body.
Yeah.
And how do you kind of push through that? If you travel a lot, how do you push through that, being away from your family, being alone in that hotel room like you talk about? How do you kind of push through that and still get to the goal that you want to get to? Because I'm sure there's days you wake up and you're thinking, I don't want to travel. It's very tough. I don't want to be away from my family. What makes you tick to just push that aside and get to what you want?
I got organized a little bit better. Before I would fly in a day early to do radio in the morning, or do some walking around the city to get more information about the city before I performed. So I'd go a day early. I did that for a long time, and I think that's what was getting me exhausted. I'd fly in a day early. I have that day, and then the next all day, and then finally perform. That's 2 days. I'm already sick of the city. Imagine, because you're in your hotel room the whole time.
Right.
And like usually everyone goes, oh my God, you're going to Dubai. You're going here. You're going to there. That's amazing. I said, you know what I do? I fly into the city. I see the airport. I take an Uber to my hotel. I sleep. I wake up. I perform. I leave. I don't see the city. I rarely see the city, I cut down the time being away from my family by doubling down. So if I fly to a city, I'll do 2 shows in one night versus me staying for 2 nights and doing a show each night. Right. So that's why I cut down. Or I'll fly, or like I do routing better. Like I'll fly into Boston and then rent a car and then drive to New Jersey, New York, and hit 3 cities in one weekend. Versus me being gone for like, go to Boston, come back, go to New Jersey, come back. I used to do that. I used to fly into Boston, do 2 shows, go back to LA, then go back in 2 weeks. That flying is it's brutal. You got to wake up early, go through TSA, get patted down. I'm always random checked, so it's just about getting organized and a lot of coffee.
A lot of coffee?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to talk about, because in your earlier days, you were struggling with drugs and alcohol,
Yeah.
but you got cleaner.
Yeah.
What do you recommend to someone that's struggling with drugs and alcohol? I know you still drink here and there, but it's not as heavy as the other days.
No.
What do you recommend people do to like push past that?
I mean, honestly, it's so sad, man. My two of my best friends passed away, and it just woke me up. Like, what am I doing? Like, why? I'm in my 30s. I'm over here partying like I'm a freaking rock star. It's crazy, man. It's the best thing I can do is just get help and, pray, go to church, get rid of your loser friends. If you look around your circle and your friends aren't lifting you up, they're bringing you down, So I still do that to this day. I'm always surrounding myself. Like, I have a lot of friends that I haven't talked to in a long time. And it's not because I don't like them, but it's just like, they're not going where I'm going, As soon as I stopped hanging around that crowd or just late nights at a comedy club with a bunch of comics, I wasn't growing, I wasn't growing as a comic or as a person. It's evil. It's dark, I like getting up early now. I get up early. I'm up, sometimes 6:30, 7:30, 8, spend time with my kids, my family was my motivation. But my friends passing away was the one that really, like, it was like night and day. Like, I was like, whoa. Like, I snapped out of this, like, I was like a zombie. Now I'm like, okay, I'm fine now. Like, seeing my buddy Rico get buried was one of the hardest things ever.
Right.
So, like, it was just like, I promised to him that I'm going to make it for both of us. And for my buddy Fu Kwan. Both of them, man. So, like, they passed away, and I wanted to make sure that they passed away, and they helped me. So I love them so much, and it's just a tough subject to talk about, man. It was a really dark part of my life, man, and I'm so glad I'm out of it, and I'm straight. No more drugs, bro. I used to do cocaine. It was bad, dude. I was like getting high, smoking weed every day, drinking, pills. It's stupid. It's like you see it all, you think it's cool. And what's funny, dude? I wasn't even doing it because I was trying to numb a pain. People are like, oh, we did it because I'm hurting inside. We're just doing it just to do it. We'd stay up all night, drink, and then we would write jokes. We'd run off ideas. Like, it was like productive. It was like, I didn't even feel like I was an addict.
Right.
Because I was like a functioning addict. Like, we weren't just like, oh man, let's do this and let's go break in somewhere. No, man, we were like doing that and just writing jokes. Like, hey, we'll play darts and have fun. And it was stupid. I'm not ashamed of anything I've done in the past because I had to go through all this stuff to get where I'm at right now. If I didn't get divorced, child support, all that baby mama drama, drugs, alcohol, all this T-Mobile working my whole life, it's been a crazy story, and it's given me more things to talk about right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I know actually you wanted to be sober. You were going to go ahead to Dubai, and you didn't want to be taking any drugs. You didn't want to be addicted to anything. Yeah. You got sober for that 1 month, and that same day Rico hugged you. Yeah. Everything's going to be okay, and he passed away. Yeah, if Rico was here, what do you think he would tell you?
He'd say, I'm proud of you, kid. I'm proud of you, kid. You're fucking doing it. I love you. It's crazy because after he passed, man, I went to go visit his sister, and she said I was cleaning his room and I found this note, and it was a note that he had wrote to me one time when I was sleeping over his place in Boston, and the note says, so imagine he's already dead, right? I go to my sister's house. She goes, I found this note that you want to have it. I open it, and it says, I'm proud of you, kid. I love you from your East Coast family. He's like, you're a big time. Like, it was almost like he wrote that after he died. That's how I took it as. But it's funny. We would talk about some crazy stuff when we were messed up. We would talk about death all the time. I remember one time he's like, yeah, Jack, when I pass, I don't want to get buried. I want to get cremated and put into a pear tree. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad, you're high. Shut up. Yeah. He's like, no, man, I want to be a pear tree. Like a pear tree? He goes, yeah, a pear tree. I said, that's fucking crazy. So imagine now he dies. I tell his sister, and they're like, we're going to bury him. I go, okay. So a year later, I bought my first home. I'm like, a year sober, I bought my first home. What's the first thing I did? I planted a pear tree in front of my house.
Wow.
Yeah, and I water it. I talk to Rico all the time. I feel like he's still with me. He's my guardian angel, man. I still feel him around me, and I love him so much.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Wouldn't that young 24-year-old man that was struggling with drugs and alcohol, struggling with his relationship. Look at you now at 40, and aren't you so proud of all you've done?
Yeah. No, totally, 100%.
You've done so much.
It's crazy. And Rico was there when I first started doing comedy, so he was like he was like right there when we first started. We wrote my first joke together. My first joke was I'm half Armenian, half Mexican. I'll sell you a cell phone, but I'll steal it right afterwards.
Right.
That was the first joke I wrote. Rico was right there. Yeah, man, the guy saved my life, man. It was crazy. Saved my freaking life.
I want to know a little bit about, because you really, to transition something a little bit lighter, it was when I was at your, not the Alex Cedar one, but when I went to your show at the Comedy Club, you called me up on stage.
Yeah.
And then
That's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
Because you came to the show.
Yeah, right. How do you like crowd select people? Was it because I was like sitting there alone and they look like peculiar, or how do you pick people to like talk to or roast or tell them to come on stage? Like, how's your thinking process about that?
I just go through the room. It's nothing particular. I literally run the room. Whatever angle I'm at, whatever I'm looking at, if I see, I just talk to you. Like I people think I always like I plant people in the showroom. That guy, he put him there. There's no way he did that. I'm like, no, man. I don't know who's gonna be the show. I don't know who's gonna sit in the front row. I have no idea. And it's all just crowd work, and it's like good crowd work. It's not like you see a bunch of comedians online just posting some like really corny and very mediocre crowd work. I like to peel the onion, get deeper, and just kind of like really find out what's gonna bother you, and then I just make it funny,
Yeah, no, it was interesting getting called up stage, and part of me was like, it was surreal. The other part of me was like, man, this is the scariest moment in my life. You were telling me like, dude, you seem so scared. Don't you?
You look like a freaking chihuahua.
I was like this, yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive how comedians deal with heckling. Because one guy I remember said to me, he's like, man, your question sucked. I was like, hey, be quiet. I'm like, I don't know how comedians deal with, like, they just roll with it.
Yeah.
Has a person ever gone under your skin?
No. I mean, I've dealt with some crazy people before, but nothing crazy. I remember one time I did a joke, and then I was like kind of making fun of this guy's wife. And then I go, man, shut up, bitch. Something like that. And then he goes, don't call my wife a bitch. I said, I didn't call her a bitch. I call her a bitch. and then everyone started laughing. So it was like, no, man, it's all funny jokes. And I started like, as I started pissing more people off, I started going on stage and saying, hey guys, before I continue, if you've never seen me perform before, I'm not a politically correct comedian. So if you're easily offended, fuck you.
Right.
Or leave. And then people usually go, okay, I get it. It's a comedy show.
No, I like that. You manage like the expectations.
Yeah,
this is what it is. If you like it, stay. If you don't,
yeah, totally.
Yeah. You've opened for Fluffy in shows of 20,000 people.
Yeah.
How is that like opening for that big of a magnitude?
I remember the first one I did, I was super nervous because it's like, dude, it's an arena. It's like you look around, they're like, you're like this small and they're huge. I went on stage, I got off stage, and Fluffy and Martin Moreno and Matt Golightly, all the comics were there watching me backstage. Like, Fluffy doesn't usually do that. He's usually in his green room backstage. He wanted to see how I handled it, my first time. And then I get off stage and he's like, nice. I crushed it. And then Martin goes, damn, bro, is this your first time doing an arena? I go, yeah. He goes, bro, you act like you've done it a million times. I go, oh man, no way, thanks, dude. I was like, it felt great, man. It was like one of the best. I mean, I was so happy, dude. I got off stage and there was like a little like intermission. I went out there in the audience and people were just grabbing me, taking pictures of me, and I remember I was in San Diego, and then I remember I did a show in San Diego, like my own show at a Mic Drop Comedy Club.
Right.
And we sold it out so quickly, and so many people from Fluffy's show came to see me, and it was like, I thank Fluffy so much, man. He doesn't know. I don't think I've ever told him like I've in person, but I always said on videos, interviews, he's always been someone I looked up to. I mean, I wasn't really that close to him, but I knew him as a kid. At the Haha, he was someone I admired because he created his own lane, his own path, and he's like self-made, and he put on so many comics. He's helped a lot of people, and he's kind of what I want to do. I want to do that, and he's still till this day putting comics on and promoting other people, and he's helped he's done a lot for comedy, and I'm so grateful to know him and to call him a friend. And I remember when he started taking comics on the road, he would hit me up and he's like, hey man, you want to open for me? And I was like, I'm sorry, man, I can't. I'm booked. And I know everyone's like, "Are you crazy? It's Fluffy." I said, "I know, but I sold these many tickets, and these are like my fans, and I'm finally having fans, and like I'm really sorry, Fluffy." And he goes, "Oh, it's okay, okay." Then he asked me again, and then I'm like, "I was booked again." I go, "I'm so sorry, I'm booked." He's like, "Damn, bro, really?" I said, "All right." And then I said, by the third time he asked me, I was booked, and I go, "Listen, I'm gonna cancel my show. I'm coming." He's like, "Okay, cool." So I canceled my show. I went to Fluffy. He's been great. I opened for him in San Diego, Sacramento, Las Vegas multiple times. He's awesome, man. And he likes the fact that I was real. I was booked, you know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of comments were just dropped everything right away and just went, you know, like, "Oh, Sophie." But one thing I do want to do one day is go on one of his private jets with him, man. I got the local shows. I got Sacramento and San Diego and Vegas. I want to go somewhere, you know. That's a goal of mine. You know, if I mean, to get on a private jet with anybody to have that level.
How do you know? So yeah, you're mentioning private jets getting to that level. How do you know that you made it?
I've already made it.
You've made it now.
I've already made it right now.
You've made it now. Okay.
I don't have a day job. I take care of my 5 kids and my wife. That's 7 mouths to feed. You know, I just bought my second home. I've made it.
You made it.
But there's always, now you're trying to create security for my family. So now we made it now for this generation, this life. But now I'm trying to create generational wealth. My goal to know when I've made it is I want to buy all my kids a house. Here, this is for you guys. All right? Now you guys go hustle. Right? That's what I want to do. And then my long-term goal is I want to retire in Vegas. Like, you know how like Bruno Mars is a residency, or Elvis, all that. I want to have a residency in a casino and just sit by the pool all day, have drinks with my wife. My kids come visit me, and I'm just chilling in Vegas, like 65 plus. Like in 25 years, I want to have a residency in Las Vegas and just go perform free 3-4 times a night a week and have like a crazy sweet, unlimited room service, and go gamble when I want to gamble and just live my life, you know?
I mean, with your work ethic, I have no doubt that it's going to happen. It's just when it's going to happen, but it is going to happen.
Totally.
So you mentioned in the Edith Oliverdian podcast, one of the things you really want to do is either perform the Venetian or the Cosmopolitan.
Yeah.
Is that like, are those like your top places you want
to
perform?
I already did the Cosmopolitan. I already performed there, and we're working on the Venetian this year.
You're working on the Venetian this year?
Win in the Venetian. That was a goal of mine back then, and we already did it. I already performed in both already, but I want to perform. I want to have my own show there.
That's what I mean, like headlining,
yeah.
It's you. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a short-term goal. That's gonna happen very soon. Yeah, it used to be a long-term goal, but now it's a short-term goal. It's just about putting the pieces together. You know, right now, that's all it is. If you say it out loud and you believe it, it's gonna happen.
What advice do you have to a new up-and-coming comic that they wanna be successful? They don't know where to start. They're young. They don't know what to do. What do you recommend?
Surround yourself with comics that are funnier than you. You know, surround yourself with comics that are funnier. Just don't hang around the same 5 open micers. You guys are giving each other bad advice. All of you guys. You know, step away from that little circle, hang out at the comedy clubs, find a headliner. Ask to go on the road with him, help sell merch, edit videos. That's a great way to get in right now. Learn editing, learn creating, learn anything. Watch comics on stage, watch a comic in the back, write some jokes, and go, "Hey, I wrote this for you. It's a tag." Even if it's bad, the comic will appreciate it. You know, you're giving him tags. That's the best way, man. That's what I did. When I first started out, I was opening doors, driving the comic around. I was selling merch, you know, for very little money, you know. And it wasn't about the money at the time. It was about the experience and the connections. I opened up for Jeff Garcia for a very long time, for I think 3 years. And the pay was terrible, right? But what I learned was I went to a bunch of cities and I met the bookers. I used that time, instead of hanging around backstage in the green room, I'm meeting the managers. I'm becoming cool with the staff, because I said, I'm going to come back and headline here one day. And all these people that I was cool with now are up here now. You know, I remember Michael Universal, he's in charge of the improvs, you know. And when I met him, he was just a door guy. We're still in contact, you know. There's a lot of people like Enrique Salazar. He worked at Ontario Improv as well. And right now he works, he has his own company. He has his own comedy club too now. So there's a lot of people you got to be nice to all these people, man. Every person you meet, always be nice, because you never know what they're going to do, you know.
Be nice and be very personable.
Yeah.
It seems like you're big on energy.
Yeah.
Do you get this energy? Do you think your sales career is what really helped you become like this, or were you just naturally always very personable?
I don't know. I think I had it in me, and I think the sales really helped me, man. The sales, like when you become a good salesman, you are a business. So you yourself are a business. You're a business, and you got to sell yourself. Like I said, every person you meet is a potential. It's a client. It's a friend. It's a mentor. It's something. You know. Always be nice to somebody. You never know. You never know, right? Just how the world is. It's just crazy, man. Something always good can happen.
Yeah. You always have to be kind to everyone. Is that because
and
you
just
don't
be
know,
kind too,
right?
You know, because it comes back. You know, one day you could be that person. You know what? I remember when I was poor, homeless, picking up. I wasn't homeless, but I was pretty freaking close. You know, I was freaking drugs and alcohol. I had like 3 roommates. You know, like I was literally almost like I could have been homeless. You know, so it's always just be good and be kind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. One thing I want to know is, do you differentiate having an in-person crowd and an online crowd? Do you have like different metrics for online and in-person? Because a lot of people, myself included, we get caught up in a game of like, oh, these many follows, these many shares, these many likes, and it gets to your head a little bit. How do you deal with the online, just the rat race of more followers, more views, more likes, more shares? Because it could get in your head a little bit.
Always.
Everybody.
Oh, it's so bad.
How do you like work through that?
I'm just really hard on myself, man. It took me forever to get to 100K because I average about 2,000 unfollows a month.
Right.
I average 2,000 unfollows. That means I pissed off. I pissed off about 2,000 people, you know, and I always check. You know, I always say something that's gonna piss somebody off. But like I said, that's what I do. You just gotta just keep moving. You know, keep moving. Always. My buddy Julian Gonzalez, who helped me, he's a El Gordo de Mamon. He has a big following. I asked him for advice. I go, what do you do? He goes, bro, just post. That's it. Just post. Just post. I go, that's it. He goes, just post. Just post. So I just post. That's it. Just post. I always try to put new and fresh content, whether it's cooking with Arazeda, whether it's me roasting somebody, whether it's me posting a new clip, whether it's me with my kids, my wife, or just a funny sketch. I'm always posting, keeping my fresh page and funny and entertaining for all of you guys.
Yeah. You mentioned sketches, and sketches close to acting. I know you really like acting. Is that something you want to pursue further?
Yeah, I mean, that's been my favorite thing to do. Like, I want to be like a Seth Rogen. You know, I want to, you know, get on movies, TV. You know, I've done some like background stuff. I audition all the time, but still haven't booked something big yet. You know, I've done some small stuff. You know, like I'm on like, I don't even think it's out yet. It's I'm on Everyone's Doing Great, season 2. But I play myself. I'm playing a comedian. That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's supposed to be on Hulu, but we'll see what happens. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I love that. You talk a lot about your identity, especially in your special with the Alex Theater.
Yeah.
You talk a lot about your identity growing up biracial, you know, Armenian and Mexican, and kind of having a hard way of finding your identity, being picked on when you were a kid back in Armenian school, and just you're not Armenian enough, you're not Mexican enough, you kind of don't belong to either crowd. Does that type of racism still, do you think, exists today? Or do you think it's way lesser of a degree?
No, I think it's way more. I just think
way more. Okay.
I think there's always going to be racism. I just feel like that's what the world we live in. But I've accepted the fact that either side either doesn't like each other or doesn't want me, you know? So I just created my own lane to be comfortable in my own skin. And I am a Mexican Armenian American who lives in Los Angeles, who's very proud of both my cultures. And I live in LA, you know? So I'm saying, like, I love everybody. Like, my wife's Filipino Portuguese, you know. My kids are mixed. So it's like, just be nice, be kind. I'm actually putting my son Jacob in
August, right?
He's going to Armenian school.
Yeah.
And I'm putting him in Armenian school because, I was bullied and this and that, and it was tough. But I don't think it's going to happen for him because I'll make fun of them.
Love that. Awesome. Fantastic stuff, man. Well, I want to close out with my final question.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next 2 to 5 years?
I will be global. I will be selling out all over the world. I will sell one of my pilots. I have like 4 projects I'm working on right now. At least one of them, I'll have them sold. And I will be healthy, My kids will be healthy. My parents will still be here. All my loved ones will be healthy, and we'll be doing this again.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it.
Guys.
Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your favorite part of the video is. Thank you guys. Peace.
Hell yeah, guys.